Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Energetics Podcast. I am your host, Kara Bunde-Dunn, and today we are going to be talking about something that I struggle with still to this day, and it is the lesson around receiving. Especially with this time of year, there's a lot of giving, a lot of receiving, a lot of emotions tied up into it. And I want to talk a lot about what it means to give generously, but also what does it mean to receive? And I have to say, this has been a lifelong lesson for me. I am a recovering people pleaser. I love giving gifts. I love doing nice things for people. I love being generous. But what I recognized in myself is that I am not great at receiving. I'd much rather give than receive. And there's some real deep lessons that we're going to talk about today. So this isn't going to be a crazy long one, but hopefully this is a powerful episode for you that hits you in your heart and makes you actually reflect and think about how this shows up for you in your life. So I just, personal acknowledgement. I understand this. Receiving is harder for me than giving. It feels way safer to give than it does to receive. And it's asking my heart to my soul, my spirit to witness what's coming through when people give things to me, what emotions are tied to it, what memories are tied to it, what shadow sides of me do I need to work on when this shows up for me. And in the United States in particular, we celebrate independence. We celebrate this idea of not needing help from anyone else. I'll do it myself. In fact, I was like such a strong independent kiddo. I was like, I'll do it. No, me. And boy, did my daughter receive this same genetic gene. She has to do it her way. Even if I can say, hey, baby, you could just do this and it'll be 100 times easier. No, mom, I know what I'm doing. And then 20 minutes later, she'll come back and be like, okay, wait, what did you say? Because she just has this like fierce independence inside of her. And I don't ever want to dim that light in her or in me. I have that huge trait inside of me too. But also, like, it is a spiritual practice to receive. It is a powerful lesson to receive. So, I want to talk a little bit about how that connects to love, expressing love, receiving love. And I want us to kind of get out of our own way a little bit as we think about this in particular. So, receiving is not a weakness. Asking for help is not a weakness. In fact, it might be someone else's lesson or beautiful opportunity to express love by providing help or assistance or a gift or whatever it might be to you. So we are absolutely worthy to receive. In fact, the more we receive, the more we can give, truly. So let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about the energetics of this as a whole. So every time you decline or deflect kindness, you're blocking your blessings. That's what I say. I'm like, am I blocking my blessings? Am I blocking my blessings? And the reality is, like, you're shutting the door on what is meant for you. And your ego is stepping in, and your fierce streak of independence says, dis I don't want to inconvenience anyone, or I don't need the help, or you don't have to do that. Now I feel like I owe you one because you did something for me, like a tit for tat, as if we can't just allow people to do beautiful things for us. So I would like to offer some perspective to you. You might very well be someone else's part of someone else's story, and the reason why they are giving might be part of their expansion, part of their spiritual journey, part of a ceiling that they're meeting that they want to expand beyond. And when you block what it is that someone wants to do for you, you may very well be hindering their own spiritual growth or their own personal expansion. So, when we refuse to receive, we are dimming someone else's light, someone who is trying to express love to you. And you might be judging them saying, oh, I know, but I know how much this will cost you because I make more money than you, for example. We'll get into that in a little bit. Um, but you might very well be judging or putting your perspectives on things and putting that on somebody else. So I want you just to pause and be like, wow, this person wants to express love to me in this way. They want to help me move things out of my basement. They want to buy my coffee. They want to do something nice for me. They want to give me a very personal, lovely gift. Whatever it is, they want to take me on a trip. I mean, hey, more of those, please. And so you might very well be hindering the way in which they want to express their love to you because you are all up in your head about what it means for you. And then now you just dimmed their light and made them feel kind of crappy about something nice that they wanted to do for you. So I want you to anchor in to your response when someone does something nice for you. Is your first instinct to say, oh my gosh, you didn't have to do that? You don't have to do that. And you're shrinking and you're letting your ego step in? Are you qualifying their generosity? Are you saying things like, "Oh my gosh, I will get you next time. That was so nice. Thank you so much. Don't worry. I'll get lunch next time." Or are you thinking about the fairness of it? Like, oh no, I don't want to owe you something, so I'm not going to accept this from you. Like, this comes with strings attached. I can feel the strings attached. Maybe you are putting those strings on yourself, for example. So for me, about a year or two ago, I really started this practice of just saying, thank you. I receive that when somebody does something nice for me. And when I give you a few examples, some big, some small, to help you like anchor into this for yourself. Because my first instinct is to be like, oh shit, don't do that for me because then I'll have to do something nice for you. Or like my energy won't let me just accept this without having to also be generous back to you. And that is a giant lesson that I had to learn, especially on this entrepreneurial journey. Because how we receive one thing is how we receive everything. So if I can't accept a cup of coffee, how the heck am I going to accept 1,000 members into my community? How the heck am I going to accept the manifestations the universe wants to provide to me? I can't because my energy is not in the energy of receiving. And I still have some karmic work to do around this deep lesson that has been something I have worked through and expanded and grown from really a very early on really early on in my life. Okay, so I want to talk about a few examples and how I caught myself. So last year, about a year ago at this time, I was planning a week-long CEO trip. I wanted a week where I didn't have to be a wife, I didn't have to be a mom, and I just got to spend time thinking about my business, being in the energy of my business, and I really just wanted to plan out my year. And it was such a cool thing that I did for myself. So I was going to book a cute little condo down in the Gulf Shores area of Florida, Alabama area. And it was beginning of January. So I knew the weather was going to be situational, but I thought it's okay. Even if I can look at the ocean while I plan, that's amazing. Little did I know it was going to snow and be cold and windy and rainy and icky and all the things, but still, I wanted that week for myself just to do whatever my heart said for a whole week. And so I was telling my husband's aunt, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm planning a trip. I'm actually going down to that area because they own a condo down there. And I had already reserved an Airbnb. Theirs is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. I reserved just a little studio one. So cute. And his aunt immediately said, well, when are you going? And I said, well, I'm going the first week of January, the first full week of January, like the 6th through the 12th or something like that. And she said, "Oh my gosh, nobody's using our condo then. Like she owns it with her son, and Tyler and his wife will be there, but they're leaving on that Saturday. You're coming on that Sunday or Friday, Saturday, whatever it was." And she goes, "Why don't you just use our condo? You just pay the cleaning fee, and that'll save you some money." And my first instinct was to say, "Oh my gosh, no, you don't have to do that. I already have a place. Your place, I would just rent your place, but it's more than double what the place is that I would rent." Like all of these thoughts went in my head, and I immediately recognized that this is a lesson for me. Someone wants to do something very nice for me, and my immediate reaction is to reject their generosity, to not accept the kindness and love they want to show me. And I said, you know what? I normally would just say no, but I think this is a very kind gesture of you. Are you serious? Like, do you genuinely mean I can just pay the cleaning fee and stay in your condo? Like, I only want to do that if you're actually genuinely mean it. And she said, "Oh my gosh, genuinely. I wouldn't offer it to you if I didn't want to give it to you." Like, no, literally nobody's using it. Like, nobody's booked. It's fine. We have a right after you, we have somebody coming for 2 months. Like, it's perfect. Come. And I just said, "You know what? Thank you. I received that." And then I said to her, "This is a really powerful lesson for me. I am normally better at giving than I am at receiving. And I think you're just here to show me this lesson in real time for me that I'm working on." And she proceeded to say, "Well, Kara, I'm not very good at receiving either. And witnessing you receiving this in such a beautiful way is a beautiful lesson for me, too." And then that kind of how it goes, right? What's meant for us is also maybe a lesson for someone else. We are intertwined in each other's stories in that way. This also happens for me, like when I go out for lunch with somebody, like if they want to buy lunch, like then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, no, 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 no. Oh, you don't have to do that. Like, let me get you next time." I am the queen of saying, "Let me, I'll get you next time." In the energy of a yin for a yang. Like we'll make sure it's fair and equal and it balances out instead of just being like, "Wow, thank you. So kind." And recognizing sometimes we are the giver and sometimes we are the receiver. And we cannot balance these givings and receivings, the two sides of this coin, without recognizing that you have to do both. You have to give and you have to receive genuinely. And it might be receiving someone's kindness, receiving somebody's compliments. So, for example, I I have lost 60 pounds on my weight on my health journey, I will say, and it's reflected in my weight. And people will say, "Oh my God, Kara, you look so good," and I was like, "Well, thank you." And I want to say, "Oh my gosh, my insides are so much better than my outsides," and like all these qualifying things instead of just saying, like, "Oh, that's kind. Thank you." Would I rather they recognize the energy shifts within me, the authenticity that I'm vibrating at, the way in which I show up and shine my light in the world? Frickin' hallelujah. Yes, I would rather them compliment me on that than on my looks. However, I recognize that they're trying to be nice. They're trying to project onto me how they would feel if they had lost 60 pounds, right? They'd be like, "Oh my God, wow, holy, holy." And I just recognize it as an external reflection of what's going on the inside of me. And so that's beautiful. But if they recognize it in a physical symptom, then, it's not my place to judge how they want to give a compliment. Instead, I could just say, "Thank you. Oh, that's nice. Thank you." Like, "Oh, have you been working so hard?" Da, 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 da. And I could just say, "Yeah, yeah, it's been a beautiful journey. Thank you." You know? And I tend to observe this, especially in some people that are kind of close to me in my circle, but some people have this mindset that, for example, if you're going to buy somebody something, pay for a trip, buy dinner, do this, do that. If I have more money than you, then I should pay. And if you have more money than me, then you should pay. And that's not how it's supposed to go. Like you're just supposed to give without any strings attached and receive without any strings attached. And if you are really growing and expanding, you will give as much as you receive. The ecosystem will be balanced and you will sometimes be a giver and sometimes be a receiver. But when we have this mindset that the amount of money you make determines who should pay, both versions of that story are blocking your blessings. They are both low vibrational ways to see situations and to truly block somebody's ability for it to be giving from a heart or expanding from a heart centered place. So I like to really think about it this way: generosity is not about math. It's about allowing somebody to expand their heart and give their love in whatever way feels aligned for them. So I really want you to just take a moment this week. And when somebody does something nice for you, a gentle little compliment, a recognition of the time you spent on a work project, or maybe it's I want to buy you a cup of coffee, or they got you a cookie, even if you're not eating sugar, whatever. Just, I want you just to have a placeholder here to say, what is my first instinct in my reaction? What is my first reaction? Is it to come from a place of receiving with love and expansion and gratitude? Or is it to block your blessings in some way, shape, or form, even if you don't express them out loud? So I really want you just to sink into that and see what comes up for you as you think about this lesson in receiving. And I truly, truly believe this. When we get out of our own way, we can recognize that when we don't allow somebody to do something nice for us, we are actually blocking their own growth, their own love. It's like I am putting like those candle snuffers, you're like snuffing out their light by not allowing them to do something generous for you. So instead, just say, thank you. I received that. Thank you. That is so kind. Thank you. That means a lot to me. It means more than maybe you'll ever know. That was so thoughtful of you. That's it. Not and or but that goes with it. Just let it land. Let it be a beautiful way for somebody to express their love to you. So you deserve to receive. You are worthy of receiving. You are worthy of abundance. You are worthy of generosity. And every time you say yes, you set off a chain reaction that touches every other person and tells the universe, yes, thank you, more, please. I receive that. I'm grateful for it. Even finding a penny on the ground, you pick that puppy up and you put it in your pocket and you tell the universe, thank you. I receive that. That abundance is all around me and I genuinely appreciate it. So until next time, friends, you be working on receiving. And as always, go check out karmicleader.com/resources for all my free tools, meditations. I have a new on-demand workshop. I've got an activation guide that has a couple amazing meditations in it. Just go grab those tools and use them. But if anything, I want you just to pay attention and be aware of any time somebody is wanting to bless you this week and whether or not you are blocking your blessings. Until next time, talk to you soon.